the Man United and Tottenham game has wrapped. Simple as this. 2-2 prediction. Tick, tick, tick. There was something about this game. The first half, Man United were dominant. They were ruthless. Anthony was mediocre at best. He was actually the worst part of the first half. He's too scared to come past his player. He was doing stupid passes. He lost the ball a couple of times. His communication skills were poor in the first half. He's the only weakling I take from the entire game from a United point of view. First 45 minutes, it was all United. A lot of Richarlison, who could have easily scored a couple of goals, but they simply didn't take their chances. Second half, it's like the lads didn't even come back out. Spurs were all over United in the second half. Kane was the best player for the 90 minutes in the sense of what he did in those 45 minutes was the best thing that happened in the 90. He was ruthless. He was dominant. His ball control, his pace, his ability to cross the ball and get the balls into Son. He was fantastic. He deserved the man of the match. Son got the goal. Phenomenal goal from Poro. The way he controlled it and perfectly placed down the corner. He was a brilliant player today. Højbjerg was fantastic. Bruno, his energy was good today. Wan-Bissaka was the only defender on our team that was good today. Sancho showed signs of brilliance. Rashford's goal was fantastic, but his performance was shit. But overall, Ten Hag is the reason why we drew and dropped more points. Fred was an abysmal when he came on. Subbing Malacia on for Wan-Bissaka was a disgrace when Dalot should have been the one to come off when Wan-Bissaka was our best defensive option. Incredible saves from Forster, De Gea, a crossbar block, obviously from Bruno. It was end to end at times, but overall, a great performance in the first half of United and great performance from Spurs in the second half. Rating wise, De Gea gets a 7 for a brilliant save that kept us in the game. Wan-Bissaka's got to be an 8. He was arguably the best United player on the pitch. Even though there's times where he lost the ball, his energy would push him forward into positions where he would get the ball back. But what did let him down was his laziness. He kept certain players on side that could have led to goals. Sure, about 5. He was very lazy. He got beat too many times. But again, he wasn't awful. Lindelof a 5 as well. He was beaten too many times. Dalot didn't really notice him, so a 4. Didn't really do anything noticeable in my opinion. Kase, 5, made far too many errors. He was getting the ball up, but defensively he just wasn't there. It's like he was non-existent in the second half. Can't really say the first half because they weren't really pressing himself, Eriksen and Bruno. Eriksen gets a 6. He did his job. He didn't really lose the ball much in the first half. He was a bit shit in the second half, and that's why he obviously got subbed. Anthony, about a 3. He lost the ball too many times, doesn't take on his player. Defensively, he was great. But again, we didn't stand to be a defensive player. So what he did and what should be bringing to the team was woeful. Doing his shot as well against Forster, who's a giant, isn't going to work out. Sancho, I'd give a 6. I think he did well. His goal was great. His confidence was a bit better. But again, he drifted off towards the end of his time in the game. Rashford, I'm going to give a 5. He got the goal, but his performance was absolutely shocking. He can't take on players. His diving ability, his mouthiness, it all just lets him down as a player at times. I don't care how many goals he scored. His player ability is dreadful at times. When I watch the likes of Vinicius or Rafael, even watching Kulusevski today or Saka or your Grealishes, they're so brilliant on the ball and can put the ball in the net. Not as much as Rashford, but, Rashford probably maybe is a striker. He's just not that good as a winger at the moment. He's had about 3-4 games off. He's very inconsistent. I don't know what it is, but again, great goal from him. It was actually really good. I'd give Bruno a 7. He was definitely a workhorse up and down the pitch. Again, sulking, losing the ball every now and again. Daft decisions, lack of communication, and blaming players for his faults. And it always will put me down from a 10 to a 7. And then your subs, Weghorst gets a 0. He's just a dog shit player, waste of space, should never have touched the pitch. Martial gets a 2. His contributions to the game were pathetic. Every time he got the ball, he lost it and just didn't look like a threat. Malacia 2, didn't look like a threat, but stopped the cross from coming in, so we didn't concede. from, I think, Kulusevski. So that's a pro, if you will. Fred, a 0. He was just absolutely crap. He's just a waste of space, especially when you got Sabitzer on the bench and he did not get any game time today. Says it all, doesn't it? But overall, mediocre performance from the lads. If that's the way you want to end the game, then that's how you're going to remember it. So it's a mediocre performance. My Man United man of the match would be Wan-Bissaka. He was the standout. Shouldn't have been subbed, and maybe we wouldn't have conceded against Son. But again, now the top four has no longer been confirmed. I think Newcastle is 100% confirmed because they beat Everton 5-1. And they are just doing phenomenal things at the moment. They are just easily the third best team in the league this season. It felt like they drifted off, but the way they've just had a resurge is absolutely fantastic. They are a brilliant side with brilliant players and brilliant potential. A lot of development needs to happen at that club, and they need to keep the confidence up and the consistency up. But overall, a terrific win, and brilliant for Callum Wilson, who is a terrific striker. But yeah, we'll be back for the next game. I don't know if there's one. I can't even think who we're against on the weekend. But yeah, I'll be back for the next Man United game anyway. So let me know down below in the comments your thoughts on the Man United game. Leave any ratings down below that you think. Subscribe, like as always, for more. And I'll see you next one. Goodbye.